This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Well, just like it says in the title, I've really come to the conclusion, especially since I've been clearing out a lot of things, that you only really need, I think, 3 dungeon crawls. And one of them's kind of vague. Like, you could do without Hero Quest. Hero Quest is great in so many different ways, but I have Warhammer Quest. And for me, I think that is the ultimate as far as dungeon crawls are concerned. I mean, just laying down some tiles and going with it. And the reason for it, and I think that's thanks to a lot to Little Monk and everything that he's done with it. And he's shown how you can really take this universe and take it anywhere, do anything with it, with all these fantastic tiles, and of course the fantastic range that GW has as far as its fantasy line is concerned, the original fantasy line, and let's face it, you could do it Age of Sigmar and so forth and so on, and that really is the basis where a lot of dungeon crawls nowadays copy. It is one of the one of the blueprints that you can really set is you notice a lot of things that are copied from Warhammer Quest. Okay, the original 1995, not the trash that comes out now. Another game that I really think that if you had, you wouldn't really need to buy too many of the dungeon crawls, and I think that is League of Dungeoneers. League of Dungeoneers just sits in a universe upon itself. I think it opens up the gate to a lot of things. The way it story tells, the way you can build stories from it. I think it just does everything possible that you could possibly do with a game, and does it fantastically, and leaves it wide open where it's a sandbox enough. And I've got to put these two together, and that is Dungeon Universalis and League of Dungeoneers, because they are so close together that these two games, if you have both of these or one of these, you would find yourself satisfied for quite some time. And you wouldn't have to buy some of this ridiculous stuff that comes out. A lot of people say, oh well, the ultimate dungeon crawl is Gloomhaven. I have Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, Chronicles of Drungor, which is very good, and I have the Dungeons and Dragon box sets, all of them. They don't compare to these 3 games, okay, because they are just so vast and so open, and it's a sandbox that you can do just about anything with. And it really covers so many different spectrums. And this is why I say, you can do without Hero Quest if you have the original Warhammer Quest. And if you don't have the original Warhammer Quest, you can actually print and play it. And, you want to check a couple of sites, Little Monk, and there's a few others that you can print out the things that you need and proxy whatever you want as far as miniatures. League of Dungeoneers, what they've done is just absolutely fantastic. I thought I had it behind me with all the standees, the acrylic standees. I mean, there are so many acrylic standees, and the things that you can do with this is just absolutely mind-blowing. The last 2 that I want to put in there is I've got to go D100 Dungeon 100. A D100 Dungeon. I think that is just a game that it leaves the imagination to a complete crawl. You can, if you want to throw For Against Darkness in there, I wouldn't complain about it at all. Both great print and play games that you can get on RPG, drive-through RPG. And I'm going to throw one more because of the side quest and the openness and the great homage that it does to Magic Realms. And that is Dragon's Down, the game that I proclaimed as the game of the year for 2025, even though it came out in 2024, but it was impossible to get your hands on. And the more I've been playing this, I've really realized as I've condensed down to what I need and what I want to have, that the games I've just mentioned, that's all I really, really need. Am I really fascinated in something that comes out and there's so many of these Kickstarters that come out with 9 million different figures and expansions and stuff like that, when you really don't need it. When League of Dungeoneers just came out with that box set, and it slowly grew with the bestiary and all the acrylic miniatures, everything that Dungeon Universalis did. It started and concentrated on just the base game, not to come out with a base game with 1,000 different expansions with it all at once and overwhelm you with stuff that you'll never get to play. As a matter of fact, the games I've mentioned, I don't think you can play all of them in a lifetime and really get enough of them. They are ahead of their time, okay? They are the benchmark for dungeon crawls. And I honestly feel that if you just had those games, they would be enough. They would be enough for you, for anybody. Okay, and just name them off. Big 5. Okay, all you need is 5 dungeon crawls: Warhammer Quest, League of Dungeoneer, Dungeon Universalis, Dragon's Down, and D100 Dungeon, or For Against Darkness. You can squeeze whatever you want in number 5. Won't take up much room or space. Okay. And you will find that it'll do everything because it is a sandbox of imagination that just does great things. And these are the best games. You may not be able to find all of these, okay? Like I said, they're hard to come by. But if you are lucky enough, like I am, and I've been blessed enough to have them, you realize that everything else is so far second that there's nothing that matters. I would love to hear what you would consider your best dungeon crawls, okay? And as far as if you only had to have a couple dungeon crawls, what would they be? What would you be able to put into your list? I guarantee you at least one of these, or 2 of these at least, would be in your list. Until next time, my dear friends, it is your old friend Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.